What is going on, betting people? It's your boy UT back with another video. It's been a long time, but we are looking hopefully to get into a more consistent routine and give videos weekly on our bets for the weekend. We have been posting daily bets, so if you haven't already, go check out my ex UT underscore betting number 2. Let's get into it. Yes, boys. So we've got some bets for this weekend games covering a couple of leagues, but do go follow my ex, like I said in the intro, just in case there's any odds change, just in case there's any more bets added to this slate. As we try covering some Saturday and Sunday games, but there may be more as we get closer to kickoff and we hear different types of news. But getting into our first game, we're going to start with the Premier League. We're going to go Liverpool Brighton, a game that we've just seen. It is Thursday as I'm recording this. We've just seen it last night. Liverpool getting the win away at Brighton in the Cup. Lot to take from that. In this one, Liverpool are now at home. You know, in the Premier League, we're going to start a stronger squad than they did. And they're also up against that Brighton that always give you opportunities. They always play that high line. So we're looking at taking advantage of that because there is not a lot of value in kind of playing Liverpool at home. So you're going to have to try find different kind of markets, which we think we found one here. We've got Liverpool to score in both halves, currently sitting at minus 111. I don't think we're going to get better on that just because of the way stylistically how the teams play. I think with Liverpool at home, I know Anfield's not been what it has been in the past few years in terms of atmosphere, but it's still one of the toughest places to go in the Premier League. At home to score in both halves against a Brighton, like that high line, there's surely going to be opportunities at least to cash that one. Moving on, we're going to Ipswich Leicester. That is a battle of the boys at the bottom. Interesting one. You know, Ipswich have made a lot of signings, but I do still think they've got a bit of a championship defence. There needs to be a lot more investment maybe in January in the defensive side of it because as we've seen Delap, great quality player going forward. They've also got a few others as well, like Smodics, who is jumping in for goal contributions, but as we saw, letting four in against Brentford, not getting the job done when they were 2-0 up. He's pretty poor, but they are at home against a Leicester, two teams that I know quite well, been a Leeds fan, especially in the last season in the Championship with these two teams going up over my boys. No grudges there, obviously, but Leicester, always a dodgy team for me. I think Buonanotte is one of the best signings that they could have made in the Premier League in terms of bright young spark that could really help to push them stay up. If I did have to lean aside, I'd go Ipswich at home, but there's not enough value on it for me. I think the draw is very much a playable bet at the odds that we're getting right now. It's currently sitting around plus 260, 2.5, nearly 3-1. I think it's worth a punt just because both teams, you know, they're not going to want to risk it. Both teams would see this as an opportunity to get some points, but they don't want to be losing this one. They don't want to be giving maximum points to the other team. I think Leicester are going to be more happy with the draw than Ipswich, with it being an away fixture. But I think a draw is very much a runner in this one. Southampton against Everton. Southampton, for me, despite what Pep said last week, one of the best teams in the Premier League, even though they got a 1-0 win and should have had about 4 or 5 or 6. Didn't quite understand that because for me, they're not. If they don't change stylistically, I don't think they've got a chance in the Premier League against an Everton side that, you know, they've got a real confidence booster and against a good Fulham last time out, scoring in the last few minutes. I think that pushes them on to maybe I'll get something here. They're going to pinpoint this one as a game that really separates them from kind of them bottom teams and make sure really, in their eyes, they're not going to be down there in that relegation battle again this year. I do think Everton, you know, they've got quality, like I say, a bit of now momentum, bit of confidence from scoring that late goal. We've gone with Everton to win either half. That is currently sitting around minus 110, which is on William Hill. Again, to nearly get even money on an Everton team to win either half, even if Southampton, you know, 1-0 up in the first half, even if it ends 1-1 and Everton win 1-0 in the second half, that is a cash for us. Don't really matter so much on the result. I think Everton got enough quality, enough about them to go to Southampton and get a win in either half, really, depending on what the full-time result is. Next up, we've got Forest against West Ham. Now, Forest, a team that is absolutely flying. Ex-Leeds player Chris Wood getting the same amount of goals as the whole Man United team. Just got to slip that one in there, which is Mad. And Forest at home, they've always banked on their home form, as we've seen in previous seasons. That's kept them up in the Premier League purely from their home form. So we know it's a tough place to go. West Ham, getting that victory against Man United, albeit very lucky, very dubious decision. It could be something that changes the season round, changes the team round for Lopetegui, gives them confidence, and they've got so much attacking quality that I think on their day, they can get something from pretty much any team in the Premier League with the quality that they do have. Um, so with this one, we're going to draw at plus 250. You can say Forest are on better form and at home. I know a lot of people probably will be on Forest, but I can see a draw here. I can see West Ham. They're one of them teams that can take their opportunities even if they don't get many. Um, and that been really close to probably getting fired. I think at the weekend against United, if West Ham had lost. Lopetegui could have been on the chopping board, but they got a bit of a lucky decision. Ten Hag was actually the one on the other end of it. So I think this is a time now they can really start to push on. I think they can, with the quality they have, maybe sneak something from a Forest game that a lot of people probably expecting Forest to win at home. But it's worth definitely a flutter for me. Next up, we've got Cardiff against Norwich in the Championship. Norwich won. We played on Sunday against Middlesbrough. We also played that draw, which was a perfect read. If you didn't know, it was 3-1 Middlesbrough. They got a penalty to go 4-1 up, and the game ended 3-3, and Norwich got a red card. Beautiful play. Sometimes you need a bit of luck in this game, and that is what we got. We got the cash. That is all that matters. Cardiff on a serious run of form. I think they've not lost in their last 5 games now, so they've turned it around. They've won the last 3 home games from when they started the season. But Norwich still have a lot of quality. Borja Signs on the wing. He's, I think, one of the best players, if not the best, in the Championship right now. They'll do well to keep hold of him, but with players like him and the quality they have, I think they've got enough to go to a Cardiff who were, on form and got momentum now to get a point, really. So it could be a close, tight game. And I think it'll probably a draw is a decent result for both. Next up, we're going to take a little trip to Germany. Dortmund against Leipzig. Tough one because neither of these teams are really performing. You can look at Dortmund where they are and say at the start of the season with the team they had, we always expect them to be competing. So they're really underachieving. And Leipzig not been putting in great, spectacular performances on the pitch, but in terms of points, they are up there in the league table, which I guess is all that matters. Again, it's not a game I'd really want to back either side with any confidence or could. Dortmund at home are always tough and can beat anyone again on their day. Leipzig have got quality that if you do give them chances like the Dortmund backline do give to everyone, you could be really punished. So it could be a couple goals. I'm sure a lot of people are on the overs, but again, going straight down the middle, going for that draw. I see it as a game that neither team really wants to lose. Leipzig in the position that they are, much happy probably going to Dortmund and getting a point. Dortmund will be looking maybe the same, but they will not want to give Leipzig the 3 points. So again, straight down the middle with that one. Then we'll travel over to Italy. Monza against AC Milan. Monza are a super dodgy team for us the last couple of seasons. Rarely like betting their games. And AC Milan, actually this season and last season have been one of our favourites actually to bet. And that is why we did throw this one in. We did debate it. We've got an AC Milan to score in both halves, which is currently sit around plus 170, nearly getting 2-1. Which I think is nice odds for an AC Milan team that is, really underwhelming right now. But they've got enough quality on the day when they do turn up in them games. When they do turn up, they can do it against some of the best in the league, some of the best in the world. We just need them to turn up, and that's really been the problem right now is the inconsistency. This is a game they will be looking at and surely pushing to try get something. Monza is always tough. They're dodgy at home. And that is why we've gone Milan scoring both halves. There is a little value in that. We'd maybe look at our win either half, but there wasn't really anything odds wise that we could get our teeth into. So I thought a little flutter on the plus 170 for Milan to score in both halves, get an early goal. Maybe if on Monza equalize, we can see it like a 2-1 or something like that. But anything, as long as they score in both halves, it gets us over the line for, I think, something that is of value. From Saturday, we're going on to Sunday. We're going on the big one, Man United, Chelsea. Man United, we all knew it were coming, didn't we? As soon as Ten Hag went, we all knew they're going to turn up. All the big boys are going to turn up. They're going to thrash Leicester. And that's exactly, what happened. 5-2 in the cup. Make of that what you will. But, that confidence now, that new manager bounce that always happens. Then players are now got a little bit of thrill in the system. They want to prove themselves. Maybe Amarin, the new coach, who's going to jump in against Ipswich in a couple of weeks. Maybe sat or keeping a close eye on this one to get an early looking at the boys. Chelsea, a team that I think have been flying. A lot of people were written off Maresca before he'd even come in, even though he did a job with Leicester last season, and his team have turned around, seem to be doing a really solid job. It might be too early to say they're going to be up there and competing, but they've certainly got the capabilities to doing that, especially with players like Cole Palmer. I think this one, if you'd have kept Ten Hag, I'd have been all over Chelsea. I think it'd been a great point for them to just go out there and get the job done. With a new manager bounce of Van Nistelrooy taking over, the players a bit of confidence. The 5-2 scoring a load of goals. At Old Trafford, the place will be more optimistic. Maybe not bouncing, but it probably be more than it has been recent months. Again, I'm going straight down the middle. We've seen a lot of draws in this slate. Something that I do like to kind of mix in, just because with the odds that we do get, with whatever you're playing, you can kind of cover. If you hit one, it kind of covers another 2 or 3 bets. So going straight down the middle in that. Of recent times, Chelsea have been a fadeless team for us, but they've been pretty consistent this season. So we're going to back them again away at Old Trafford. Should be a close one. Both teams should see chances straight down the middle. Always worth a flutter, I think, in big games like that. It's not one that teams want to lose. And then we're going over to Torino and Fiorentina. I record this on Thursday, so them two teams I think are playing tonight. It's a real quick turnaround from Thursday to Sunday. Expecting to see a tight, kind of leggy game, with only a couple days. Fiorentina travelling, they've got a lot of quality, a lot of confidence coming off that Roma game, which we thought would have been a lot closer than it was. Look to have, kind of started pushing on. Now Torino started the league really well, was one of the top teams in the league. Couldn't be beaten. They had a bit of a cold streak, and now they seem to have got that win, maybe getting back on track. At home, they're always a tough team to beat. They might be missing Zapata, one of the biggest players, but at home, I think this has got draw written all over it. Fiorentina have got more quality. Torino are strong, and they've got the home support. Quick turnaround, like I said, maybe a bit leggy, a bit tired. I think both teams will probably maybe take a point. So yeah, boys, that is our bets. We are going to play half a unit on all of these plays. The odds may change, may differ. Like I said, go follow the XUTA_betting2. That is where you get some updates. I don't want to lock in at the most value that we can. I just want to get some bets out for you guys. There might be more added as well. Half a unit on all of these, so we're looking at about 8 bets right now. So it's about 4 unit play, and hopefully, if we get a couple of them draws come in, then you've already on your way to a profitable slate, which is what we're looking at in the long run. So yeah, do check it out. Like I said, go follow everything in the description. We've got podcast episodes coming soon. Tea&Tackles. I stream most nights over on Whatnot, doing footy stickers and footy cards. If that is something that takes your interest. Instagram, TikTok, we are on it all. Everything will be in the description below. Appreciate you all. And as always, let's cash.